It's like Ponzi racquetball.
What are we calling this? Is this a podcast?
Red. It's Clash.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Red Talks Clash. We're going to start talking about the update any second now, as soon as we get through all the rambling. Joining us today, the one, the only Clash Bashing, one of my favorite guests. Thank you for coming back again to talk about the update today. How's your Father's Day going?
That was good, man. We just got back from camping. I'm actually like super exhausted. You're lucky you caught me in a good mood, because if not, I would be just like sleeping right now. Like when you asked me, I was like, crap, I gotta do this. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it was good, man. It was we went camping, lots of activities, lots of constant moving, and now today we're just chilling after we unpacked.
Awesome. Liam, you talked to your dad?
I didn't, but I did send him an AI poem, so that's that.
An AI poem?
You outsourced Happy Father's Day.
I don't have the creativity for it. The AI does. Why not use it? And my dad's happy. He doesn't care.
Wow.
I mean, is that really much difference than going and getting a card, though? It's like the same thing, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. See? Bash gets it.
He had the most mama's boy rant ever for Mother's Day one year. and he's like, Dad gets a Chat GPT poem. Awesome.
I mean, to be fair, I send them to my mom as well, so it's like I treat them both equally.
I equally don't care about my parents, but
I love my parents and they love me. That's what matters.
I don't. Yeah, I had a great morning with my kid. We went out, did America's real favorite pastime. I had a good morning, but now
with fishing,
with more firearms.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. So
I was trying to think what you could be doing in the morning that's America's. Now I get it.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. Let's talk Clash. So, sneak peeks.
Is that why we're here?
Yeah. Sneak peeks have started. We got two. Let's just go straight into the big one, the one everyone's talking about today, the crafting station. Bash, what are your initial thoughts on the crafting station?
Oh my God, this game's getting more and more pay to win. This is unbelievable. I can't believe they would introduce something for the top town hall that resets every once in a while. This is ridiculous.
How dare they? How dare they give us content?
The right response? Do I win points with the audience for that?
It's been mixed responses, really, today.
Yeah, I've seen them. I understand it, but also, like, the thing that people that are upset about it resetting need to understand is that this is meant for people that are towards the end of their Clash of Clans life cycle. They're at the last town hall, which every town hall, like after town hall 18 comes out, you're going to have to be town hall 18 to have this thing. It'll go away at 17. You have to do it at 19, which is kind of a weird concept. And I kind of want to see how they're going to pull that off, to be fair. But I think, like, since it's meant to be like an end game thing, I don't think it's really that pay to win, because if you're in the end game, likely like you're going to have resources to be able to get this thing, or at least one of them, because remember, it's 3 different modules essentially on 3 different defenses. So at least get one of them to a decent level. Like, we're talking clan games where you get builder potions and books, and CWL where you can get tons and tons of builder potions. I feel like it's not going to be that hard to put the resources into whichever one you favor. Now, the big thing is like with hero equipment, where you choose the wrong one and then a new meta develops, and then you're like, oh crap. Then I could see people definitely getting upset about it. But I think it makes a lot of sense. I love the concept of choosing one out of 3. I think we got 3 really good ones if you want to introduce those.
Yeah. So we got the Hook Tower, straight out of Boom Beach. I don't remember what's called in Boom Beach, but it is.
I didn't even know that was in Boom Beach.
Yeah.
I played Boom Beach like very, very little when it like first came out, and I was like, nah, I don't like this. So I didn't even know that's a Boom Beach thing.
Yeah, which is cool. It's like easily, like the second they said this, like the very first thing they said, hey, we're going to start doing this prototype type of thing. You know, I think they called them archetypes at first, but I was like, oh, dude, like I want the reacher grab or whatever it's called from Boom Beach. So yeah, we have the Hook Tower, we have the Flame Spinner. It's flame, right? Not fire, but whatever.
Yes.
The spinner. The weird thing about that is like it's always on. Like even when you're scouting, it's already firing, which is weird to me.
Yeah.
And then the crusher mortar might be my favorite of the three, at least the way it looks. But the crusher mortar, it's got that double boulder bounce kind of thing, launching giant bricks.
It's like unlimited bouncing. It like just keeps going, right?
I think it's like 2 bounces, I want to say.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah.
thought it was
like,
more than 2.
It like disappears on the third when it's gonna third bounce, maybe.
Something like that, hey. I'm just been hanging out trying to absorb all the feedback on them this morning. Like people hate like more temporary stuff that they're gonna lose. Especially like it's not that hard to deal with losing a supercharge because you have them for so long and they are like cheap and fast and it's just 2 to 3 levels. But now like 81 upgrades we're gonna lose.
Yeah.
I see a lot of concerns about like just the time it's going to take to upgrade these 3 things just to lose them. We're looking at 2 months of upgrade time, essentially, for a 3-month season. If you want to max everything out.
If you're keeping 3 builders on them, it's definitely quite a bit. But again, like I think people are like taking for granted how easy it is for us to get resources. Again, it's not meant for a Town Hall 15, Town Hall 16, who still got to work on, everything. I mean, at Town Hall 17, if you're just getting there, it might be a little bit overwhelming, but it's not like these are super duper long upgrades. We're talking like day long, 2-day upgrades at most. I guess it gets up to like 3.
Yeah, all the level 1 stuff starts at 6, 12, or 18 hours. And they just kind of scale up from there. A lot of them are like day and a half. So looking at a grand total of 216 million golden elixir. And I don't know, like what do you earn in Legends in a day? I got my calculator open. You earn, I don't know, let's call it 8 million a day. So it's only 27 days of Legends League to afford all this stuff. We're going to be doing a little bit of wall, so it adds up really quick, but I don't think it's really that oppressive to pay for it all.
Yeah.
The other big concern that I've seen people express is it's just like even more complexity. And, is it adding 3 things? Like it's always, we always have to kind of deal with the balance issues. And now like, are they really going to be 3 things in balance?
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, like how many of us here are building our own bases? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we're, I'm building this base. Is this going to be a hook tower base? Is this going to be a mortar base? Like, what am I going to build this? Most of us are just copying links, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. I don't think that's a big factor. Like, I understand a lot of the frustrations. I get it. But for someone who plays like me, and I know you free-to-play players don't want to hear this, dirty gemmer, someone who buys gold passes, I'm excited for this at Town Hall 17 and then moving into Town Hall 18 potentially later this year. I'm hoping we move into Town Hall 18. I'm just assuming that's not a leak or anything before you guys go get worked up. But moving forward, like this is something, every 3 months, like, okay, I'm dirty the way I play my max account because I'm max day 1. It's usually besides like walls and stuff. So this will give me something every 3 months to kind of work on and kind of play on. And I don't know. I think it's a cool concept. I just love the ability to choose. It reminds me of like when equipment came out. Like I was so excited to be able to like craft, and obviously exactly what I thought would happen is like we have metas for what equipment is best and stuff, and we'll probably have equipment or metas every 3 months on which one of these towers is best. But I don't know. It's very, very exciting, but I definitely understand all the frustrations.
Like I do like that they are 3 very different options too. Like the hook tower, very unique mechanic. Haven't seen something like that in Clash before. And like it really, if it snags something important, if it snags your warden away, like a queen or a king, even like a single root or drag, like it's gonna kill that specific troop. And at max, it happens again and again and fast. And
so I saw a comment. I don't remember where I saw it somewhere, but they said, "What if like you like bait your king into getting hooked, and then you earthquake boots, and then spiky ball? That could be a dirty play, man. You can counter the counter."
Yeah, you can. One of my first thoughts was like, "This is going to be fun offensively and defensively too, because there's gonna be situations where you can exploit it, where you can let it grab your royal champion and pop an ability, pop her haste vial and invis her, or let it drag your king in to fire off your quake and spiky ball, or a warden fireball, and then recall them out of there. So there's going to be fun ways to exploit it on offense, which I don't know. I kind of think we're going to see less of it just because of that.
Yeah, I'm really interested. Obviously, like I said, I'm not a base builder. I'm interested to see what the base builders do with it, because these feel like you're going to have to make them hard to get to, because for the hook tower, for instance, the royal champion, it doesn't go fast enough to grab the royal champion in between blinks. So like it's going to have to be like pretty well protected in a base. But now, like when people are doing these like 11, 12 invisibility charges, is anything really actually off? Not able to be grabbed. What word am I trying to say that? You know what I mean? But that's the thing with how our base builders going to deal with this. Also, like how's the meta going to develop moving forward? Because we also have like the other changes to like the Eternal Tome and stuff. It's really interesting to see, like, will the mortar prevail? Will the hook? I feel like people are kind of like sleeping on the flame spinner. Like, which one of these are going to prevail to be the best, or is it going to be like certain base styles have one that they choose over the other?
All right, if you had to call it 3 months from now, right before the reset, what are we going to be seeing the most of the three?
I wouldn't be surprised if we see the flame tower, because it targets the mortar. I would love to see, but I feel like people are going to be trying to make air more meta, and if we start to see a more meta of the mortar, that's going to push people even more into air. I mean, dragon's already good, and there's already ways around to using dragons without battle blimps with the Eternal Tome nerf. So I don't think the Eternal Tome nerf is the end of dragons being used in the meta. And then with balloons getting a new level, rocket loons are already really strong. We already see rocket loons from time to time. I feel like we could see them moving back into the meta. I'm kind of curious to see like what druids, like if people start playing around with other stuff with druids getting a new level. So I feel like this whole meta could open up a little bit more. I don't think it's going to be like wide open, but I think we got a little bit of potential.
Yeah, I know. I kind of think the downside of the Crusher Mortar is obviously that it's ground only. So if you're doing a drag hit, that's another thing you can just ignore, because most expos are on ground and stuff. So it's just another ignorable defense. You just maybe kind of got to keep your heroes away from it. But yeah, the flame spinner kind of feels the least exciting for the current meta armies. But I do think, like, since it is the one that's going to do damage to ground and air troops, that is where we're going to end up seeing most people maxing it out first and using it.
I love the hook tower a lot. Like, if you watch, like, I'm not trying to plug my channel here, but like my reaction to the hook tower, like, was genuine, because I was so excited, like, of the potential of it. But I also, like, the more I think about it, I feel like it's the most easy to counter, and like you kind of just work around that one. I don't know. Like, I think right now in Clash, we just need more damage on the base as much as possible. I think it's very disruptive, but like is that attack time fast enough is my question.
On the hook tower, yeah, that was in testing. I think that was my big piece of feedback too. Is like it takes forever to target something, and it feels like it's constantly retargeting. So I don't know. We'll have to see it in action, and yeah, I know base builders are going to play with it. I do like overall. I like I like adding a variety of stuff, and these are interesting mechanics. I love having stuff to do too. Is we got 6 more months ish, whatever estimated, of Town Hall 17, and nothing to do. We got 5-6 things to do in the lab, some pet levels, and walls. So like it'll be nice to have my builders busy outside of the forge for the capital I don't need gold for.
Yeah. So let me ask you, day one, if you have the resources or whatever resources you have, what are you putting your resources in? Which tower are you putting your resources in?
This is the really boring answer, but I'm doing all 3 of them because like I have nothing else to do my builders on. So what else am I going to do? You can put 1 builder on each of the 3 at the same time, and they all still work, which is great, because you can't give us 81 levels of upgrades and then be like, you're not using this thing for 2 months of the 3-month of the 3-month season. So like I'm glad that they've allowed us to use it to its full extent while upgrading. But also each stat is upgraded individually, and each defense has 3 stats. Those 3, one takes gold, one takes elixir, and one takes dark elixir. So they've staggered it to where like level 1 stuff is all, there's a 6-hour, a 12-hour, and an 18-hour, like I said. So I'm just going to do all 3 6 hours, all 3 12 hours, all 3 18 hours, and then just like that the whole way through. And on each of the 3 defenses, you can do that to where you'll spend 1 on gold, 1 on elixir, and 1 on dark elixir. So it's set up to be like very by the book, linear upgrade, and spread out your resources like that. So that's what I'm going to do. Just upgrade 3 of them straight through.
Okay, let me rephrase the question since you're giving the most neutral, boring answer ever. If you could max out one of these defenses day 1, which one would you max out day 1, Rick? Jeez.
I would do the flame spinner just because I think it's a whole bunch of DPS on air and ground. It wrecks anything small is done. Like you can't use regular witches. No one's using barbs or whatever, but anything small, it just melts through.
Yep.
So I kind of think you have to lean that way. If you have a lot of builds left to do in Town Hall 17, here's the question is, like for guys like us that are max, yeah, we're putting 3 builders on it, of course. But if a guy is in Town Hall 17 just starting now, where are you prioritizing the crafting station? If say I hit Town Hall 17 today, what do you tell me to do with my crafting station?
Honestly, my advice is going to be flame spinner, just because, like you mentioned, the damage that it's going to output, this burst shots in there. You can only upgrade 1 module at a time, but if it's day 1, oh man, I don't even remember like what we get at Town Hall 17. I guess we get the merge stuff. I feel like
a lot of merges.
I feel like day 1, like you kind of just do your normal stuff. You focus on 1. I didn't really think about it like that. Like day 1, what are we doing? I just think about it as like how I play the game. It's just dirty max gemmer.
I think if you are becoming a Town Hall 17 anytime soon, or you're a new one now, I honestly think you don't even touch this thing. Because you have far more important permanent buildings to put those builders on.
Yeah.
Instead of wasting, you're just get a level 1 thing just to have it on your base and fill spots and be able to copy layouts and have a little bit of damage, but mostly just ignore it and let it, and play a season down the road.
Yeah, I think that's part of it also, though, is like, since it is meant to be temporary, or not necessarily temporary because it's always going to be there, but since it is meant to be one of those things that resets, I think you're right. I think like that should be like one of your last priorities as a Town Hall 17. That's a very good point, is like focusing on the stuff that's going to stay there is going to be way higher of a priority, especially like damage wise. I mean, what at Town Hall 17 we get Monolith, Pet House, Laboratory, Clan Castle, Army Camps, pretty much everything at this point, right? Like all the good stuff is going to output damage, all your offensive stuff. You have to get that up first. I mean, offense runs the game right now. Is this even going to be enough to make that much of an impact in the game? I guess we'll see.
Yeah. You're looking at 54 days of just to max one of them. Like, even if you only want to pursue one, you're still looking at almost 2 months of a 3-month season. So you also have to ask yourself, like, how much time is left in the season when you get to 17, and is it worth any time whatsoever?
Yeah.
It's also kind of weird too, because like, say like the hook tower doesn't work out and they never bring it back. Like, we might be the only people ever to play the hook tower meta.
But what does that matter? That's just cute because you got to play it.
It's more FOMO, more justification to rush to the Max Town Hall.
That's exactly what it is. It's all FOMO. I mean, these events that we get, the resetting of the seasons now, so it's even more FOMO. I think that's the perfect way to put it. They're wanting, but that's the way, like, people forget to realize.
Yeah, like, I mean,
it's a business. This is our favorite game, and that's why we're so passionate. But it is a business at the end of the day, and they have to make those business decisions. And unfortunately, FOMO is one of those triggers in your brain that's like, oh boy, what can I do to get there faster, to get this thing faster, to get it upgrading faster? It's one of those little like triggers that's super smart financially for Supercell. Let's be honest. I don't think it's super pay to win.
No,
I don't think the
because there's
incentive
so
is
many.
a brand new 17 to max it.
Because it's not worth using books on because they're all 2-3 day
they're tiny.
upgrades. Yeah, like so there's no reason to use a book on it. It might make sense to use a goblin builder on it if you have a ton of gems.
Yeah.
Any final shots on the crafting station?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I love the concept a ton, but it's also one of those things where it's like we'll have to see what develops with the meta, what the next season looks like, how it affects, because I think a lot of it's going to be like it's going to be more geared towards those end of 17 players are maxed out, pushing legends, warring all the time, and this is what this is more intended for.
My biggest concern with it is that, hey, it's a new permanent mechanic for the top town hall. So we don't know exactly how it's going to work on the day Town Hall 18 drops. Do we lose it and have to rebuild it? Does it last through that season? I don't really know. I don't know if they know yet, or maybe I just missed it. If that was talked about, I know it was asked at least.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about that.
My concern is right now, I have 3 builders I can use for 54 days or 43 days because I'm going to have the gold pass. I have those builders and I have those resources. When Town Hall 18 drops, it can't be the same stats. It's not going to work. If I need 3 builders in 2 months to max the thing that I'm going to use for a month and then lose, like I don't see how that's going to work in to my schedule while I'm a new Town Hall 18. So that has to change. And the patch notes do allude to that, like that this stuff is going to be flexible depending on the season. So they have to nail that.
Yeah, that's going to be the tricky thing moving forward because it's a really, really delicate balance. Like you said, when a new Town Hall drops, obviously we're not going to want to commit those builders to, this thing that's going to go away in 3 months when there's so much new stuff to do. I mean, imagine we get more army camp levels, hero levels, whatever offensive building. offense runs the game. Like offense has to go up first. Are people going to, like, by the time we get to this, it's going to be season 3,
It's going to be weird for esports in hard mode, like, because there's definitely an advantage to people who are willing to pay for it. Because 2 months of an upgrade.
Let's be honest here, Rick. All the pros are going to have whatever module they're using or whatever defense they're using max.
Well, no, all the sponsored pros, at least.
I would say any team that's halfway decent is going to have stuff max. Because they're the same as you and I don't even play competitive. I mean, I have more of an excuse, but like you don't play competitive or anything, and
no,
like you probably have the resources to get at least one of them pretty decently upgraded, right? I mean,
like time wise. So there's going to be a July qualifier and an August qualifier. I'm not going to have, if I wanted to play even in the August one, I'm not going to have any of these max by that point. But, I don't know that they are going to be impactful enough to call it really pay to win. I'm sure people will, but I don't know if that's going to be the reality.
In hard mode, they're definitely going to be. Like, hard mode's already tricky enough, and, like, you're adding so much to the base, so much damage on whatever module. The real tricky thing is, like, which ones do these pros run? And, like, I think that's just going to kind of stack up with how the pro meta develops and who can break that meta first. I think we see a lot of flames first, like the flame tower first.
Probably.
Because it's just the most universal.
All right. I think, unless our little late joining friend Sam here has anything to say on crafting stations.
Hello. I didn't really want to break your flow there. It was really good, and I do apologize for being late. I'll just say I think they're cool, but I do slightly worry about the whole temporariness of them. Those are my 2 cents, but I think you've done it to death already, so I'll let it be.
It's one of those things like I don't like it. But that's the way the game is right now too. It's another supercharge-esque thing that I think
I don't like supercharges either. So, that's where I sit on this fence.
It makes a lot of sense right now where a ton of us are max and we have nothing else to do. it's going to make less sense doing it day one of Town Hall 18.
All right, let me ask you this: do you regret upgrading any of your supercharges? The ones
No,
that we've lost?
no, of course not. No, like it's
Okay.
you know it's like you and I think probably still agree that like supercharges shouldn't have come day one on new levels of stuff, right?
Not all of them, yeah.
And I didn't think they were. Like when they announced them, I
Huh.
did not think that's what they meant when they came out.
In my mind, this update would have been where we're getting supercharges for all the Town Hall 17 stuff.
Yeah.
And I would have been happy with that. But okay, let's move on to the ice block. How are you going to use this weird thing, Bash?
Am I going to use this weird thing? So like I was watching like some videos and I see some use cases of like I saw Itsu like RC charge into the Gigabomb. That makes a lot of sense. Or like, I could see like if your huge horde of troops is going into like a rage tower section of the base, you can negate that rage tower. But is it worth bringing at that point over like another spell? I guess like getting the Gigabomb out with RC, that's pretty cool. I don't know, man. This one has me stumped, to be honest. Like, maybe I'm missing something with it, but this one normally I'm like, yeah, I can use this for like I immediately have something. This one is like it's such a utility thing, in my opinion, that I don't know that it's everyday user.
I think it's going to take time to figure out, and it's going to take some creativity to come up with a good use case. What I've seen so far of creators doing and through my own testing, like trample is like freezing snakes on the king, and then like throwers or something with longer range behind it to throw over the ice block. That works well. Like freezing hounds, so they like hover longer over air defenses or over high DPS areas. That seems pretty useful and nice. That'll be a way to help get your blimp further in, unless a hook tower stuns it. Which like that, people were worried about the Eternal Tome nerf, but like the hook tower is a really hard blimp counter.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect sieges, does it not? Or am I?
The hook tower won't pull them; it will still stun them.
Ah, okay.
Which is weird, but yeah, that's like
That is
I just figured that out yesterday myself.
It's a cool concept. I love the concept of it. I love, in theory, what it's trying to do. It's just me. I'm like just trying to figure out how the heck am I actually using it.
It's weird because it feels like its functionality is that of essentially a freeze and an invis kind of just merged into one. It does it all a bit weirdly differently. I don't know. I when I read it, I actually thought I was completely misunderstanding the spell because I actually didn't know how how I was going to use it. But let's be honest, like there are going to be some pros which are going to find something and break the meta, and we'll all be using it for a few months. That's probably the reality.
I will spellbook it over the next couple months as I get gold pass spell books. I'm not gonna race through it by any means, but 94% damage reduction is pretty significant.
Yeah, but also it's like, why can't we just get a full 100% at that point? Why can't you just get 98% at that point? Why am I still taking any damage from the Gigabomb?
Do you think they just like pluck some random numbers out of thin air? And, like,
No,
yeah,
it's
sounds
definitely
good.
there's definitely reasoning and testing and why it's like we can't fully negate all the damage, but it's like 94% is pretty much all the damage. Like that's a pretty sweet spot.
So like I know I'm dumb. Like when I first saw, I did like have that moment of like, oh yeah, this is why we can't do 100%, and I totally forgot that reason right now. But there was something that made sense. I'm sure of it. Or it was just really late at night.
Good talk, Rick. Good talk.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Excellent content is like,
Thank
I
God
know
we
the
got
answer,
this
but I
guy
forgot it. And it came to me in a dream.
Oh, Rick. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love the concept of it. It seems really, really cool. It just seems like such a utility thing where it's like, I don't know. I'm a dirty spammer, man. I can't attack complicated. I can see it like the RC charges, just negating some damage, getting the Gigabomb going off, or if you think there's like giant bombs like bait, like negating some of that. That could be cool because I don't think RC charges are going anywhere after this update, and there's nothing that would make them go away, in my opinion.
No, yeah, there's nothing that really counters it in this one.
I mean, it does. The spell feels like a very reactive spell in a sense, as in I'm
Yeah.
not sure you're often going to plan to use it. It's kind of like an, oh, I need to save my troops kind of spell. I feel like we've
Yeah.
had a lot of those recently. I mean, the revive spell was a kind of similar thing. Like, you're not planning for your hero to die, are you? Like, you're taking it as a just in case, and in that case, do you want to take it?
But that's not true because when the meta for the revive came to be, like you're planning on your royal champion dying and then you're bringing her
That is
back
true. Yeah.
later in the attack. Like that was intentional.
Like I'll say, Town Hall 17's been out over 6 months now, 7 months. Like I'm just now seeing fun, broad use of the revive. There's like this mass revive attack I've seen a few times. I've been playing with it. I love it. So
Yeah.
maybe the ice block just takes time for someone to figure out a solid use for it, or we need more things added to the game that like down the line bring it into relevance.
Yeah.
I think the big thing with this, especially like this kind of thing where it's like, okay, how maybe I can use it for this, maybe I can use it for that. But this is one of those use cases where, and we see with a lot of troops, like Druid's like a really great example of it, where it gets to that broader audience and it gets used by more and more players. And then that one person comes up with that one thing, then it gets spread around and it gets spread around. And now everyone's using it. And it's like, oh, those guys sounded really dumb on that podcast at one time.
Yeah,
You're gonna be clipped all over YouTube, like, oh, these guys know nothing.
Oh, dude, I would love if people were clipping us just to call us dumb, dude. Like no one cares.
That's true. Like when you're, that's when you know you're big, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like when.
Yeah.
That's what my comment section is for. I don't think there's any positive. No, I'm just kidding.
Just like you said 8 months ago, like, dude, no one remembers what we're yapping about.
Yeah, to be fair, could you imagine if we went back through our previous episodes and found every single thing we were wrong about? I think it'd be a little bit embarrassing, actually.
I don't think I would ever come back on here just out of embarrassment.
Yeah. But I'm glad you brought up druids too, because let's move on to talking about all the new levels and stuff. Druid being one of them. Do you think druids are going to see a resurgence now with the new level?
That's hard to say. I mean, let's be honest. Do root riders need druids again? Because roots aren't going away anytime soon. Like roots kind of work the way they work well with the healers. People have kind of got that figured out. Do we need druids back on them?
I'm interested to try them again too, since the furnace came out, and now, like, if you catch a furnace weird, your healers are done. So druids won't have that problem, and so they don't get a ton of new stuff with going to level, I think, 5 now, and it's a Town Hall 17 only level.
Yeah,
but it's something I'm willing to play with.
What army are you using right now in Legends Work?
The last couple of days I've been doing mass revive, so super yetis, mass revive. Shout out to Shock, who's like one of my favorite newer creators growing. He's been around a while, but yeah, it's just like a short warden walk, spam a whole bunch of super yetis, and then you bring 5 revive spells. You send your king and your RC on the other side of that funnel, and you just revive your heroes as needed, and it can crush bases. It's weird. As long as you have a little bit of common sense when to revive them, it's awesome.
Okay, so like something like that. I mean, throwing a druid in there with the revive could work out pretty nice.
Yeah, especially like there are times where you're just boned. Like if your RC goes off alone, reviving her is useless because she's gonna just die immediately.
Yeah,
but maybe you can sneak a druid or two on there. I don't know. It's worth playing with because I always feel like I have way too many super yetis.
I mean, obviously they took what it was like a 50% nerf, right, to like the bears.
It was huge.
They took a really significant nerf. So I don't ever think they're going to be like OP. Everyone's using them again, but I can definitely see some use cases where we see some of them teched in, like you said, with the furnace being a little bit annoying. I don't mind it. I think it's one of those things that's good for the game.
I'm kind of more excited to see what people do with the balloon and lava hound levels that we're getting.
Yeah.
Which
Agreed.
is here fun fact, fun bit of trivia. The last time we got a lava hound level, June 22nd in 2020.
Really?
Now, this is during Town Hall 13. We've had max hounds at Town Hall 13 for 5 years.
Do we think Lalo could make a resurgence with the new levels, or?
That's the question. Is it enough for Lalo to come back? Because, I mean, we were talking about, the new defense. One thing I don't think people realize is like everyone says the game is so easy and stuff and how like there's no defense or whatever. But the reason the game is quote unquote so easy is because all of these units that are being used, the meta armies, the roots, the dragons, it's because they have enough hit points to withstand all those defenses that are actually outputting a significant amount of damage. And that's why we don't see Lalo and Hogs, is because it's just not, they don't have enough to survive all those heavy hitting defenses. So is it going to be enough to withstand, what was the flame spinner? What, 400 damage per hit? 28 burst shots?
Like, I know. Yeah, I was gonna say like, like we get a new level of hounds, a new level of balloons. We're getting like the tome changes and the ice block spell. I said has use probably for Lalo and hounds. Like we get these things that make it seem like maybe Lalo has a chance, and then but no, like the flame spinner is gonna just melt through balloons.
Let's see, balloons level 12, 1240 hit points. I mean, it's decent, it's solid, and we get packs. I think the one thing that could help Lalo is how strong heroes are and have been. I mean, if you can't pair it with a super long world champion charge because Lalo generally needs some spell support, but you could still probably run a 5 to 6 invis RC charge, still have an effective Lalo. Not to mention, king and queen dive into the base. I don't know. I could see it.
Yeah,
there's a lot more skilled players than me out there that can know how to use Lalo. That's for sure.
Like I used Lalo back in Town Hall 9 days, and really not since then. Like a little bit of like the Electron Lalo at Town Hall 10.
I did a lot of Blizzard Lalo around that time when it was meta, but I haven't really done Lalo much since then. Oh well, not at all.
Corrupt has shared videos where he's playing with the new stuff, and obviously not publicly, but playing with like Lava Loon Puppet and the new levels of loons and hounds and the ice block, and it looks interesting and it looks viable in the right hands. I will say, I'm not a Lalo guy. I don't imagine being a Lalo guy. If you're a Lalo guy or gal, I don't like give it a shot. Play with it after get the levels and see what works.
Yeah, I think that's valid. But I think like one thing aside from the balloons that might be really good, that's already decent, as the rocket balloons.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing is Fireball, Warden, Walk, Rocket Loons is already a really strong attack. New level of Rocket Loons only going to help it.
Yeah.
That's an attack that doesn't require the Eternal Tome, so that change doesn't matter. I keep telling myself like I'm going to figure this Warden Rocket Loon attack out. I keep putting it off. I did see like Mass Furnace with a Warden Walk kind of thing, and I was like,
so much fun.
Yeah, I will. So yeah, another shock video, and like the guy makes good videos, but yeah, like I figured, hey, I'll start playing with this. I'll get a feel for it, and then I know loons are getting a level, a month or two away, and then maybe I'll transition.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'll be viable.
I think we have one guy in our clan that uses Rocket Loons religiously. I think it's going to be really nice for that. I mean, you see even pros using Rocket Loons every once in a while. It's not, obviously the meta is roots and drags, but it is very exciting when you see that come out and basically the Warden just walks the whole base. So I think just having that in there, just adding a little bit more damage, adding a little bit more survivability so you can get just a little bit more of those defenses out, or maybe even get one extra drop on those defenses is pretty huge for the Rocket Loons.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say about the blimp level, the Town Hall 15 plus?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like one of those things you don't really notice that much of, to be honest. Well, I guess like it's kind of hard to tell because like if you're using a blimp, 90% of the time it's covered by the Warden ability, or you're like you have a plan of where it's going in and you don't need the Warden ability. So like you're really not noticing its stats. You're really just it's a delivery vehicle for you. So it's like kind of one of those things that we haven't really thought too much about until maybe after this Eternal Tome nerf.
Yeah, I'm happy with the Frosty getting a level. So
yeah, I mean Frosty's already pretty good.
Yeah,
so 5 more levels to him, that's only positive.
Yeah, you get 4 levels of whatever nonsense, and then the level 15 gets you an extra Frostmite, that'll be real nice.
Whatever nonsense. I like the way you word things. you get 4 levels of stuff, and then you get a Frostmite.
It's like 5 levels of like taking 1 extra shot from who cares what defense, and then and then and then level 15 you get the Frostmite, which is the real upgrade.
Yeah, I mean Frosty's already like really good in the current state of the game, so him getting more levels helps things out. because we definitely need more offense for sure. I'm just kidding. I'm being sarcastic. No, I love Frosty getting more levels. I'm just being sarcastic to be difficult.
And then 75 more walls too. Like the last of the walls.
Yeah, we know that's coming.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
I've been managing my little vanity base, moving those walls around slowly, and now I get to not worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those stupid things. It's like, I got to make my design look cool, but now we can finally have it. Which, I mean, we all know that's coming, so it's not a big deal.
Have I ever showed you my name base?
No.
All right, you'll have to visit it later, and then I can do my dumb joke. But all right, let's talk about the cookbook, which is a feature I feel is most useful for you as a content creator, more useful than for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it seems interesting. It's definitely like, I want to see like how it develops, because like some of the armies in there, it's like, is this even going to be effective? Like,
So,
you know what I mean?
For its intended purpose, like I'll tell you right, no one listening to this podcast is gonna ever use one of these armies. So, but also, unfortunately, we reach only a very small fraction of the entire Clash of Clans player base. There's a whole lot of people out there who don't know how to do anything in this game, and I think it has potential to really help them out. So all these armies, they don't use any epic equipment, no super troops, and they don't come with CC troops. If you want to add that stuff to them, cool. But you'll be able to use them without any barrier whatsoever.
Yeah, but let's be honest, like when you're trying to actually get good at the game, those, epic equipments, those detailed CCs, those are the things that are. I'm not trying to poop on this because I love the concept of helping players out. Don't get me wrong. There's just some of like the really novice armies in there, like I just question. And even like when we get like, say, like a featured army or a creator army, it's so hard to understand how to use those things without consuming media.
Are they going to link to creator videos from the game, or I don't know? Like, well, like here, I'll ask this: are you going to make content around these armies?
Yeah, I mean, I have an idea for them for sure, but again, it's just like, I don't think those armies are made for the people that are watching my videos. Those are for the more casual people that aren't, searching out externally how to play the game differently or better or in other ways.
And then you wonder, does it help them? Because if they can't see the army being used, I mean, I don't know.
No, it's very easy to make a video on how to 3-star with blank, blank, blank. But it's still like, is that person going to, because most people fall into the trap, not most people, but some people fall into the trap of finding that one army that works for them, even if it's nothing cool or meta or whatever, but they find that one army that works for them, and then they just stick with that until it doesn't work, and then that's when they start experimenting. So then maybe that's when the cookbook comes in, and gives them some fresh ideas. But also, like, if you see an army in there with like 11 invisibilities, you're like, what am I supposed to do with these 11 invisible? Am I supposed to make all my troops invisible at the same time? Am I making the town hall invisible? What am I making like? I'm curious to see how like the featured armies and creator armies kind of go over and how that kind of works. I think it's a really cool concept, but a lot of time attacking in Clash of Clans, you either need a clanmate to coach you, or you need like a video guide, or you need some kind of reference point to really understand. Like, I recently started doing the 11 invisibility RC charge into dragons with a siege barracks instead of a battle blimp, and I had to sit there and practice for multiple hours with my clanmates to even understand what he was talking about and trying to get me to do. And then it finally clicked. But that was after, him explaining it to me nonstop after watching me fail and fail and fail,
I think it's a cool concept too. Because, just like you said, people will do one attack forever. And you put an option in front of someone's face like this, it's going to, at least for some, it's going to, give them that little spark of curiosity. And then maybe they go to YouTube and search in, whatever these goofy names are. Because they're certainly not finding other Clash content with around these attacks. But then, if I'm a new Town Hall 8 and I search one of these names and I find your channel and you have a playlist of all the Town Hall 8 armies and how to use them. And hey, if you have epic equipment, here's how you can modify it and make it a little better. If you can get access to CC troops, here's how I recommend you do that. There's potential for useful, cool teaching content in this.
Rick, I told you before the podcast started not to be giving the video ideas away that I was giving you. No, you're right. I mean, maybe this is a vehicle for people to explore and like try to kind of better themselves. So there's a ton of potential here. I think it's only again, I feel like I'm sounding very negative is why I keep saying, but I think it's a very positive thing. Don't get me wrong. It's just one of those like really interesting things of how it's actually going to be used. Once it's put into the game.
Yeah, this is one of those things where like, I mean, I can say this does absolutely nothing for me, but I can still recognize the utility and the value to the majority of players who probably don't.
But okay, but imagine like the army you were talking about, the Master 5. Imagine that gets featured in there, and they're like the average player is like, what am I supposed to revive 5 times on this army? What am I doing with this?
I do worry that it feels like a slightly lazy substitute for the practice thing, because obviously we haven't had a new one since, I don't know, 10 or 13 maybe.
Yeah.
And, you know, that actually teaches players how to use an army. And it feels like maybe these cookbook things should be accompanied by one of them, because otherwise how are they meant to understand it?
Like, I was surprised it's not just like straight 1-for-1 using those comps, like from the practice ones, at least for the lower town halls. Like, I would have expected it to just be that. But
yeah, because they have a lot of like meta comps in there.
Yeah.
But also, why don't they add these recipes to the practice tutorials, like as a permanent thing as well?
Yeah, that's what they should do, really, to get people to understand them.
Once you're Town Hall 13, like, do you need the hand holding as much?
I like it because I haven't played Town Hall 13 in a while, so I think it's nice.
Yeah, but put it this way: if they're designing this cookbook to be marketed at the kind of player who wouldn't go find a YouTube video to learn an attack, then what's the point? Because in theory, they still have to then find a YouTube video to learn the attack.
But maybe, these armies are simple enough that maybe they can figure it out on their own.
Yeah, some of them, like using 8 earthquakes and spamming a bunch of stuff through a base, like, you'll be able to figure that one out, or you should. But like, anything that's going to get you talking to clanmates about strategy, I'm probably a fan of.
What you just brought up there, Rick, like the 8 earthquakes. Maybe it's someone who's never used an earthquake and they don't know the mechanic of any 4 earthquakes will destroy any wall. So they're spamming earthquakes and like, whoa, how did that wall just get destroyed? So yeah, it's like one of those things that can maybe just toggle the brain of someone that's really casual, maybe get them out of their comfort zone where they're trying something different and like, oh, this looks cool. Maybe I can try this out. So it's only a positive thing. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's not like it's going to be negative for people to be trying new stuff.
Nothing's ever going to replace like one-on-one learning from your clanmates, or searching out some content on YouTube to learn. It's not going to replace that. It's like a stepping stone towards it, I think. And overall, I'm a fan. I don't know how useful all these individual armies are going to be, especially at the higher levels, but definitely for the lower town halls, the ones people are going to encounter in the first 1, 2, 3 months of play-in, huge win.
Yeah.
All right. Where are we at?
So we didn't really talk about the tome nerf too much. Obviously, it was announced a while ago, but
it's like you have access to our little outline, because I was going to say, boom, tome change takes place.
Yeah, I thought you forgot. That's why.
That was next, dude.
It sounded like you're like kind of like stuck there I was just trying to nudge you along.
But Bash wasn't looking at the agenda thing. I was like, oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, literally right next, like
transitioning into it.
Yeah, and I think we've had a bunch of weeks, over a month to kind of talk it to death, but very briefly, your thoughts on the tome change.
Okay, so like I went on a little rant in one of my sneak peeks of where in theory, it makes so much sense that the Warden's aura should be his area of effect. He's a wizard. He's magical. It makes sense that from a magic perspective, that's how this should work. My issue with this is the timing is god awful. The meta is so stale right now, and hopefully, these 3 troops getting new levels is going to completely change the meta. Don't see it, but maybe it will. Maybe the new defense will change the metas up, but the timing is just awful in my opinion. Like if we got this 2 years ago, if we got this when Town Hall 15 was max, okay, fine, that's great. Or even last year when we were running over bases in 90 seconds at Town Hall 16. Okay, great, makes sense. It almost feels like it's a direct nerf to battle blems. And it almost feels like it's going to push players away from drags, away from air, into more and more routes. That's my main concern with it, is that just the timing feels so bad. And maybe I'm just off base there. That's just my personal feeling, because a lot of times with drags, you're using that long blimp, and it takes that right out of the game.
I'm glad they announced it when they did early, because it is, for a lot of players that are upgrading, like spending what you spend your ore on is important. And having as much info as you can when you're making those decisions matters. So I really appreciate that they shared that info early.
Agreed.
It's kind of lose-lose in the sense too that like you can't really judge that in a vacuum though, because when they announced it, we didn't know all the other things that were happening. I think Ice Block helps the tome a little bit, and it's the way it interacts with all this other stuff as well. So people had the last 6 weeks to whine about it, but also you don't know what else is coming, and you don't know what else is coming long term. I get the reaction, and it's hard. It's been hard not to say like, don't freak out, you guys. Like, it's not that bad, and there's other stuff coming that helps. So,
like, at the same time, I understand the reactions. Like, it's very fair and valid. It's pushing the most broken troop even more.
Yeah, it is a nerf. Like, it's been pushed as like a rework, but I mean, it's a nerf to it.
But the theory behind it is perfect. It makes so much, like, the theory of it is amazing.
Yeah.
I think it should have been theorized years ago.
Yeah.
Is my thing. But then by now we're all used to it. It's not a big deal. And
you can't tell me if we never had the tome originally, if Warden had always been like Rage and Heal, or like if they introduced Eternal Tome now, it would have been an epic, and it would have felt like an epic.
When was the Eternal Tome nerf? The initial one, because we got time taken off of it, right?
Oh, a long time ago. Was it with the equipment change, right?
I think it was with the equipment change, yeah.
So it's been a while.
Yeah, and it felt fine then.
Then again, maybe it wasn't thought of then, so that's why it's now. I'm difficult.
So much has changed too in the last year and a half as well.
True.
All right, so a lot of the other small stuff. We'll go through this quickly and get to questions. Drag and drop troop hero order. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
incredible.
That'd be cool. Love that.
Yeah.
The 10 out of 10.
Yeah, love it. No complaints. It doesn't change the way that your CC, like, you can't drag and drop CC around. Like, so the way they exit a blimp or the exit whatever, you can't change that. I would love that, especially for the thrower.
That's always housing space order anyways.
All right, then we get 2 versus 2 and 3 versus 3 friendly wars.
Incredible. For
it's
content
cool.
creators, for sure. But I think even for like the average clan, I think it's like one of those little things you can have a little bit of fun with your clan, split off into a couple clans and just goof off for a little bit.
I mean, Carbon Finn must be punching the air right now.
I saw his reaction. It was awesome. Like, and I saw him talking about it.
Carbon's probably the biggest advocate for that.
Yeah,
he does so much of that stuff anyway.
I know, like, because those have been in the dev builds for forever. So I've seen
a
lot of people say, like, please bring this. Like, you're halfway there. Just give it to us.
Rick just breaks down the fourth wall.
Yeah. But okay, then we get new animations for the Fireball and Tornado and the Spell Factory, and who cares? But do you like the new Fireball?
I honestly didn't even look at it because, like you said, who cares? I'll go look at it right now. You yap for a second. Let me go. I'll pull it up right now.
I don't like it. I'll get over it in a day.
Was it not implemented before? Is it the one that was looking before?
Yeah, it was in like a bunch of builds ago. It was just never moved to the live game.
The big poof and the over saturation. Yeah, it's very dramatic. Why is it purpley though?
I don't know. Yeah, this one, like, I don't know why it had to change, but whatever.
They're trying to maybe update the graphics to be more 3D and stuff. I guess.
Yeah, it's probably like some nerdy answer like that, honestly. We have a bigger builder base elixir loot cart.
Oh boy.
Yay!
Asher finally has some content. He can make a 30-minute video out of this one.
They literally only threw that in there to shut him up.
they're like, we got to give Asher something.
That's his yearly builder base update.
Something that Reddit's going to be very excited about. They're finally removing the regeneration time from the hero info screens.
Thank God.
It's like seven people a day have posted about that one for the last 2 months.
Oh boy.
Another nice little bug fix. We're no longer going to get level 1 CC troops when we copy recipes.
Long overdue.
Yeah, like
that is so annoying, dude.
Yeah, like
so
that one
annoying.
should have been fixed in a maintenance like weeks ago.
Yeah.
All right, and then the final last little thing I did want to touch on, Supercell ID guest accounts, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Again, not going to affect anyone here, but like the hand holding people need to get into making a Supercell ID, it's only going to protect your account. And I do like the gentle way they're forcing it on people, because like if they just immediately said, hey, you have to enter an email to keep playing this game, like 1 million people would quit.
Yeah.
So
Wait, what exactly is the guest account? I didn't understand that.
when you play, you're going to be like, they're going to create a Supercell ID account for you. You won't have to like enter an email or whatever, I think. And then
nice.
Yeah, so like you have a Supercell ID. It's just like a guest account one, and then you can go make it a full Supercell ID later, but it just avoids probably some of the issues with phishing. It could be about something totally else too. I don't know, but that's where my mind goes.
Yeah, that's anything for account security's got to be a good thing.
Yeah. Liam, do you want to bring us through some questions?
Sure. What do you think about the variety and sort of unexpectedness that crafted defenses will bring to legend bases?
It's just one of those things like we're gonna have to see. It also depends on the meta. Like if the meta stays where it is, where it's like probably like 60-40, maybe even 65-35, 70-30 drags to roots to drags. Like, does the mortars see as much play if it's still a lot of air? Because we can already ignore expos, and then we're ignoring the new defense. Is the hook tower going to be effective enough with the slow attack time, or do we just fall into the flame spinner defense being the meta because it's the most universal and it can output 400 DPS, and then it becomes predictable? So I guess it depends how the meta develops over the coming weeks.
Yeah,
and I think that's one thing that's really interesting is like when obviously like there's a pretty decent sized creator group, but when this gets pushed out to more and more players, there's some really good players out there. And when they get their hands on it, then you start to see how effective or ineffective these things are actually going to be. Ineffective, yeah, boys. We're ineffective here.
Yeah, it's going to be the Wild West for the first week, dude, seeing all sorts of different stuff, but low level. So, and it will be fun to have to adapt on the fly to that. And then when you see them in a war base, you have a little more time. So, but Legends, it'll be fun. I think it'll make Legends interesting again for a little while.
Agreed.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'll actually be able to defend because I'm a dirty gemmer. So,
are you gonna burn through this all 81 upgrades of this stuff?
I'm gonna go pretty hard on them. I don't know if I'm gonna get all 81. I'm gonna max flame spinner at least, just because, like I said, most universal. Then I'll probably go into a hook tower. I love the hook tower, man. I think the hook tower is so cool.
It's fun. Like of them all.
I didn't know it was a Boom Beach thing.
Yeah.
So I guess I could have got my hook tower nostalgia out of the way already. But like I like that one. I love the way the crushing mortar looks. It's just, is that going to be enough to counter roots? No matter what, getting more damage on the base is only a good thing in my opinion right now.
Yes, agreed, 100%. All right, Liam, what's up next?
When will the minion prints become good?
What do you mean?
6 months ago.
Who's out of touch?
I was gonna say, they just
minion prince gets used instead of king even on ground attacks sometimes. Like, he's good now.
People are sleeping on the Dark Crown, man. I think the Dark Crown it's a good equipment. Like everyone thinks it sucks,
settle
but
down. Well, settle down.
Yeah, I think it's good. It'll be good.
No, I've been experimenting with it. Is it better than the henchman? Is the thing, like, is it that much better than the henchman? It's very, like, you have to lose half of your army to be maximum effectiveness. But at that point, when you're half your army, Then you're into like the kill squad portion of the attack. That's when you want them beefed up and most effective rage. So it kind of makes sense. But
Yeah.
also like the henchmen be able to soak Seeking Air Mines. My problem with the Dark Crown is it leaves him very, very vulnerable. If he goes out on his own, you're donezo.
Have we figured out if the defenses will come back, or when a year from now it'll be completely different set of defenses?
I have a feeling Supercell doesn't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some recycled with different rotations at some point. I don't think there's going to be every 3 months 3 unique defenses every single time, years on years on years on years.
I also think they'll reuse them because like the development effort makes no sense to just make it a one-off. But
Right,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it's like even for the seasons, it makes a lot of sense to bring them back.
Yeah, I actually quite like the idea of it being in a different rotation because, for example, there's probably going to be a defense, maybe the mortar one, this time around, which maybe isn't used as much. But then, if in a different rotation, it may be the thing to use. So it would be cool to maybe
Exactly.
see some of the lesser used ones come back.
Yeah, just like long-term planning, they can, once they get a good inventory of these things, I'd be shocked if we don't see ones come back, and hopefully they can like plan them out so there are interesting interactions with fun seasonal troops as well. Like there's a lot of cool ways this could go.
I hope Hook Tower's in there every season so I don't be a chicken to finally use it one. No, just kidding.
I'm gonna spend 54 days upgrading this thing to never use it.
Hook Tower feels like it has the biggest risk versus reward use case.
Yes, which is fun. Which like that, and that's what makes it interesting.
If you had a Clash 1v1 tournament of all your RTC guests, who do you think would win?
Well, like we've had pros on, so probably like Stefan and Kronos, Ninja, like one of those guys for sure. Of non-pros, I don't know, like Bash is good, Corrupt's really good.
You don't have to say me just because I'm here.
Yeah, like no disrespect to Trample, but I don't think Trample, and I think he'd agree. I've never seen Ninja, Clash Ninja, never seen his Town Hall 17. He's secret. He might be good, he might be terrible. We don't know.
Trample's really, I feel like you're sleeping on Trample. Trample's really good.
I don't know who else.
You guys are in the same clan.
Judo?
Yeah, Judo's good. Judo's good. That Judo guy, number 3 in the world, that's okay. He's all right.
Like, I haven't seen Eric attack in years, so I don't know if Eric's still a good attacker.
Eric's pretty competent.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think of like 3 years.
No, hold on, quick, give us these little neutral answers. Pick a non-pro that you've had on.
Team, Rick.
Yeah, pick a non-pro. I want to hear the answer.
The deal? The fence has gone too far.
All right, okay, I'll say Bash. What's your highest Legends finish, and is it number 3?
No.
All right, well then I think we have to suck up to the audience, and I'd say probably right now Judo.
I think it's fair, to be honest. I mean, Judo's really good. I'm not offended by that.
Yeah, I know. Like there needs to be a big two verse. We have not had Itsu.
Oh yeah, that would be a different story. No, I think Judo's a fair answer there, to be honest.
Yeah, no. Okay, moving on. What's next?
Why no e-boot nerf?
Do the boots need a nerf?
I feel like they've already been nerfed, so I still see them being used a lot.
Is there any attacks where a world champion doesn't use boots?
Something needs to change with boots. I just hope it's something creative instead of like
it's one
just
of those
more trickle nerfs. Like the roots got.
I think that's what needs to happen. And I don't want to say a Supercell's afraid, but like it seems like Supercell doesn't want to repetitively nerf the same thing. Like we've already had 3 Root Rider nerfs. We need a 4th, let's be honest. We've already had one Electro Boot nerf. We need another one. Why not? I don't know. It's definitely one of those things where you want to keep epic equipment's epic, but it's like one of the things where it's almost 100% use rate. I don't know what the actual use rates are, but just what I see, it's like 100% use rate. Like, and that if that's the case,
yeah,
it might be a little bit strong.
Man, I wish they shared those numbers too, because like we know one of the big considerations with balance, or at least what they always cite, is use rate and win rate. And e-boots has got to be the highest use rate, win rate of them all.
Yeah. The thing is, like, if everyone's using e-boots, there are going to be some slightly questionable players who are also using them potentially and aren't.
Well, yeah, that's also like that's why the universal hit rates. We as people who are very passionate about the game think the game is easy and we're in a super easy meta. However, there are still people that struggle to 3-star. I see it in comments on my videos to this day is like, the game's already hard enough. Why are we getting this defense or whatever, you know? Like, so there's still people that are still struggling out there, even though, you know, guys like us who are very passionate about the game think it's the easiest it's been since last year.
Ever.
Yeah.
I am 100% confident to say that the game is easier than ever before right now across the board.
You think it's easier than speed meta?
At every town hall level, the game is easier than it's never been before, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise.
Across all town hall levels, I'll give you that.
I agree, it's easier, but it doesn't feel easier, I guess, for any noobs like me, maybe.
Just think back to Town Hall 15. If I went 3 for 8 in Legends in Town Hall 15, I felt great. That was a great day.
Well, we were just having this conversation in my clan because we lost. We got demoted in CWL and we had like a 40-something average. It's like, it used to be if you had, 37 stars, that was a really good war. Now it's like, it's minimum 43 to not get demoted.
Yeah, dude, like we're having 42-star CWL wars and losing.
Yeah, we lost a 43 on a tie. I'm like, what the hell, man?
I feel worse about going, like if I would have got 19 stars in CWL, I would have felt worse about it than getting 14 stars in Town Hall 15.
Yeah.
And what's the shame about it is it really devalues the feeling when you triple. Like you don't get that buzz when you triple anymore. It's just, oh, thank God, because I couldn't have had to.
Yeah, no, I just want to say, like, I said all that stuff just to say, like, perspective matters, and in the context of where we're at in the meta right now too. Like it's hard to it makes it hard to compare.
Yeah.
All right. What's up next?
How can one try to get into esports? Just practice and join competitive events, I guess.
Yeah. Head to the CCN server. I'll drop a link in the show notes. There's always people looking for, like, hey, come join 5 vs 5 with us. Get on Twitch. Like, find streamers who are doing wars, and like you can just show up in a clan and do
wars, knockouts.
Do some friendly wars. Practice in hard mode. Get better in it, and just put yourself out there.
That's the big thing is like you could be really good in normal mode. Hard mode is a legit whole different monster. So you definitely have to be able to be good in hard mode for sure.
Yeah,
which takes a lot. And good is kind of what we were talking about in the previous conversation about hit rates. Like you don't have to have 100% hit rate in hard mode. Like if you can have, a 40-50% hit rate, that's really good in hard mode right now.
Yeah.
Will we get new heroes, especially a rider hero?
I don't know what a rider hero would have been, but
like a hog rider hero, I guess. At
this point, I think if we're getting new heroes, it's going to be with Town Hall 18.
We talked a little bit about the monetization of the game. I mean, monetarily, look what the minion prints did for the game. We get a whole new skin that if you're a completionist,
an extra $9 a month
every month. You're buying new epic equipment. So financially motivated, it only makes sense for Supercell. I feel like minion prints might have been like a little bit of an experiment, but I think from a financial perspective, like business wise, it had to be a good thing. There's no way minion prints was a bad thing financially.
So do we now think that they just want a new town hall for every town hall, a new hero for every town hall?
No, I don't know. No. I hope not.
I feel that might be where they're going.
That's way too much. Then were we playing League of Clash of Clans?
Inventing the hero hall and changing that whole system just for one new hero doesn't make sense to me, but I don't know, right. Maybe the plan has changed.
I mean, if they do go down that path, they'd have to really rework upgrades for heroes, though. I mean,
yeah, long term, something's got to change.
Well, one thing that's really cool is like we had the question of is Minion Prince going to be good or whatever, and it's like kind of in a vacuum. We know that Minion Prince gets used a lot, but some people don't even know it. And like as you add, even if we get a 6th hero, maybe not at 18, at 19, we'll say. It's just going to add so much more variety to attacks and open up the potential meta. I'm all for more creativity, more meta attacks working, more variety. I love that. So I think the potential of adding, even not from a financial perspective, I think it'll be healthy for the game just for creativity I'm letting players explore and like kind of play the game they want to play and like fill the roles of heroes that they may need.
I don't know. A lot of it too is like, I find myself like giving advice to a lot of people on Reddit for what to upgrade. You know, what kind of attacks to use. I've never used the minion prince outside of Town Hall 17. I don't play my alts enough to have upgraded him very much, or definitely haven't invested in his equipment. And also just like, I'm completely unfamiliar with it. And there's a lot of people like me who just aren't equipped to give Town Hall 9 Minion Prince advice.
But man, I was watching the Town Hall Cups and Town Hall 9 Minion Prince is just wrong.
Well, like, also, what isn't at Town Hall 9, even hard mode? Like, when they first announced that, I was like, I've never done Town Hall 9 hard mode. Let me try it. And it's still a joke. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's going to take a lot of time to build up just, like, community-wide knowledge of how to do that stuff lower. And I don't know that we're there yet. Maybe I'm just not looking at it, too, because I'm definitely not out searching for how to use a Minion Prince at Town Hall 11.
I mean, if I just go anecdotally from like friends who play Clash of Clans and stop for a year and then come back for like, a month and then stop for a year, like in their head, it's still just like, the king and the queen, maybe the warden if they've got that far. So new heroes, they're not going to think to use them, I feel like. So I think it's going to take a while for people to get actually familiar with, oh yeah, the Minion Princess exists and we can use it. It's great.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Let's do a few more and wrap it up.
Do you think the event around World Championship will feel bigger by being part of the DreamHack and being based in the US?
Probably.
Oh, I don't know.
So I think it'll feel bigger. I've been to DreamHack for a Clash event before. It was awesome. However, I don't think it'll feel as personal.
I don't know what it's going to be like. So
when we did one of the Snapdragon Pro Series finals at DreamHack San Diego, and it was a blast. It was really cool. A lot of people flew out for it.
was it a live audience?
Yes.
How big of an
Can you just
audience?
let me talk for a sec, Rick?
Hey,
I'll get there, buddy. Just let me tell a story.
sorry.
Let me breadcrumb you down this trail, bud.
All right. My bad. This is my first time doing this, dude. I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So that was my first ever like gaming convention. So I didn't know what to expect either. And it was really cool. Don't get me wrong. We had a good audience, but also we were a small stage in a small corner of a small building, not a small building, but like it was very like you had to know where to. I got lost trying to find where I was supposed to go for rehearsals, for instance. So like if you don't know where you're going and you don't understand it, I think that's where we lose the personality of it. Like where when we have, Superfest last year, it was all Supercell stuff. Like you're going there to watch Supercell. It's only Supercell. Whereas DreamHack, it's easy to get distracted. Obviously, you're there to watch Worlds or whatever. But man, there's so much cool stuff. Like, like one of my favorite things to watch is Games Done Quick. And like Games Done Quick was there. So like after one of the shows, I went and I was watching Games Done Quick. Like it was so cool. But also there's so much going on. And it's going to feel huge compared to Clash Fest and Superfest, in my opinion. But also less personal is my takeaway. The audience did come out, but you definitely had to know where to go. And I think with it being Worlds, that should be okay.
I'm only a tiny bit salty because I was planning to go to this one for the first time. And that now they've finally taken it out of Europe, the cheeky... I'm not going to say anything too rude, but the cheeky so-sos. But that's an entirely selfish reason why I'm annoyed about it. So
Rick and I had this conversation a while ago, like when and where we thought Worlds was going to be. And I was like, dude, there's no way it's ever not in Helsinki. And then like a few months later, they're like, well, Bash, here you go.
I know, because I was always hopeful for a London one, and then I was like, I just became resigned to the fact that it was always been Finland. So I was like, okay, Finland, that's okay. The flights are not too expensive, and then boom, America.
Last one for Bash, maybe. How expensive is it to be a content creator for Clash bashing, or content creator Clash bashing?
For me, it's actually gotten cheaper with the changes to the donations and stuff. Like I don't have to buy gold passes on all my accounts. As a content creator, like once you get your gear set up and you have a good setup, I mean, I know people that do most of it from their phone, and they're like, you can do content without spending really any money in game. Like free to play is huge, but not only that, like if you're covering esports, you can just talk about esports and metas that way, and you don't really have to spend a lot of money. I know I'm known for doing spending sprees and stuff like that, but you don't have to. I think that's a big misconception. You don't have to spend a lot of money to be a content creator for Clash of Clans or any game in general, because there's a big audience in any community that's going to love free to play content, but also there's other content that's free to play in general that you can, kind of use to your advantage as a content creator.
Great answer. I think that wraps it up, Vic.
Do you guys have any real quick shout outs before we end it?
Thanks as always for having me on. Appreciate you guys.
Of course.
Definitely love to come back anytime. I know we've been trying for a while, but finally we got the schedule, so I'm glad we were able to make it finally work.
I know, dude. Yeah, like you reached out, you're like, "Hey, what's up, dude? Like, let's do a podcast." Like, yeah, let's. And you're like, "Never mind." And then I ask you again, and then I ask you like 4 more times. You're like, "I'm a little busy, can't do it."
It's been like 2, dude. Like, and you like plan them at the worst times. My kids are getting older, man. They always have something going on. We got family stuff.
Hey, I think it's a safe assumption that I'm like, hey, like, is Bash going to be able to do Clash stuff during Clash updates? I think that's a safe assumption. But apparently,
I'm always willing
not.
to come on. It's just whether or not I'm busy.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. No. And funnily enough, like the day we do finally get you is Father's Day.
Yeah. Exactly. Which, in theory, I should be the most busy. But no, always appreciate you guys. Always appreciate the community. So thanks for having me. Yeah,
I'm gonna say a random, non-detailed thank you to Marco. He helped me help someone else out, and it's very, very appreciated. So thank you to Marco, the community manager, and Sam, Liam. Do you guys have anything?
I want to make a public apology to Trample for missing a CWL hit. In fairness, it came on the day of my final exam.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. This is the show you have me on? People missing CWL hits?
Did you see that post? There was a guy in a helicopter and he got a 3-star. So if he can do it. And final shout out to the Discord mods. Thanks a lot for your assist as well in the chat.
Yeah, apparently thank you for whatever you were doing. I'm sure it was nice.
Thank you for whatever you were doing. Wow, Rick.
He was too focused on bullying me. He doesn't even realize the hard work other people are putting in.
Dude, I can't read an agenda and talk and look at questions and manage chat. I can't do it.
Well, if you go by my logic, you weren't reading the agenda, so.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys so much. The update will be out sometime shortly. Enjoy it. I think it's a good one. And we will talk to y'all in a couple weeks.
Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll have someone impersonating me, but you never know.
He'll be here or not. Tune in to find out.
Thanks again, Bash.
We just had Tommy.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was a blast.
Yeah, what's that full-time Tommy?
Always a pleasure, boys.
All right, yeah, take it easy, guys.